they're kind of like carnivals. They're kind of like vaudeville, which is it is loosely based on, say, late 1500s England, but it's, you'll get, you know, King Richard at a time, 400 years after he lived.
Well,
So the history is loose. The general setting is kind of what you're going for.
because I love watching it, and you've got like the torture ones, and then you've got
Yes.
the medieval knights, and they look amazing. Like we have kind of like you see jousting while you have your dinner, and you can dress up if you want, but I think it's
Yeah.
few and far between. But I love how you guys go all into it. But how do you? This is probably going to be the question you're fed up of answering, but where does the whip come from? Where does the Jack the Whipper? Where does drawing a French moustache on? Did you just let your personality run wild and see how what amused you would amuse others? Was this through your street performance? Like how on earth did such a lovable character and an insane premise of an act come together?
It was a kind of an evolution. So I mean, to go first, I picked up the whip mostly just because it was kind of what clicked for me. I tried a bunch of different circus skills. The whips worked, and I liked Indiana Jones when I was a kid, and my dad also did
Mm.
whips, so it was kind of all of these things together. Um, then the character of Jack the Whipper, and then evolving that into Jacques the Whipper was, so my father way back in the day was really successful Renaissance festival act, and his approach was always, um, you should have good tricks, but the good tricks don't necessarily make a great show. What makes a great show is having a unique character or a unique shtick, or something that's going to make you different from, if someone else were to pick up a whip and do your exact same show, what makes you different from them? And so what he what he kind of proposed, and this was summer going into my sophomore year of college, so my second year of college, university, it was, he said, okay, so you can think about being, this kind of pompous character, um, Jack the Whipper, of, you come out, I am the greatest whip cracker of all time. And I was like, that doesn't really quite jive, and that's a hard line to walk. And so while we were kind of brainstorming, he just kind of threw, well, I mean, you could even be French. um, and I was like, wait a minute, that works, because I think there is something. I think people are generally not threatened by an outrageous French accent. I was almost going to say people are not threatened by the French, but I don't want to say that. I'm a lover of the French, but it was kind of this like, oh, okay, this clicks. And then after a couple of days of doing that show in the French accent, I realized I felt like people weren't quite picking up on that this is supposed to be a dumb act. And so
Hmm.
I drew on the mustache just to see how it would work. And it was like, it clicked. People got it from the get go. The laughs were bigger. Everyone seemed to understand where the show was, what the show was, faster. And here we are years later.
I love it because like every comment you were following, like there was such a community of love for you, and people go out their way to annoy you and to bring these like be part of the joke and go back and forth. And I was like, he gets it. You get like when you watch you perform, no matter what it is, if it's with like with your partner in crime, if it's with like random people in the crowd, you just have this knack for connecting. And I was really interested, like, but what then led you to not pursue that full time initially? What led you into journalism?